Use part one of the fundamental theorem of calculus to find the derivative of that function. See, it has derivative here. So what is that? Well, the fundamental theorem of calculus says that the integral from anything to x of any function, f of t dt, you take that and then you take the derivative of it. The derivative will cancel the integral. It also cancels that dt in the back. That's all part of it. And then you just plug in that x. So it'll equal f of x. That's what the fundamental theorem of calculus says, that basically, fundamental theorem of calculus, basically that Newton and Leibniz discovered in the maybe 1500s, I can't remember, um, that the derivative and the integral are opposites. The derivative and the integral are opposites of each other. That was a huge discovery. People were doing derivatives, people were doing integrals for a long time before that, and then Newton and Leibniz, right around the same time, discovered that the derivative and the integral are opposites of each other. They cancel. If you do them both, you do the derivative of the integral, it cancels. And the dt, that's part of the integral. The integral and the dt, they're all part of the integral stuff. And there's the function in the middle. And then you just plug in the x. Okay, well, the problem with this one is they have the x in the bottom. So the first thing we're going to have to do is rewrite this so that we can put the 3 down here and the x up there. It doesn't matter where the x is. The x must be at the top. But if you do that, you got to put a negative in the front. Remember that? So my first step is just to rewrite the function like that. And then my next step is say, okay, now when I take the derivative, right, they want f prime, the derivative of that, that derivative will cancel that integral and the dt at the back. Now you can just plug in the x. The minus is still there. So it'll be minus, that minus is still there, sine, and then plug in an x in the t slot x instead of t cubed, it's x cubed. And that is our answer. So the fundamental theorem of calculus, derivative and integral are opposites. So if you do them both, take the derivative of the integral, they cancel each other out. And you just plug in the x. But we have to, but that x has to be on the top. So the first step is we had to reverse these guys by putting a minus in the front of the integral. That reverses the two bounds, puts the x on the top where we need it, and then just plug in the x. Derivative and the integral are opposites. So says the fundamental theorem of calculus.